Hello everyone and welcome back to FTVA 2024. I'm Omar Oakes, Editor-in-Chief of The Media Leader, and I'm joined by Hamid Davari, who is Director of Ad Sales at OSN. From the Middle East, thank you so much for coming down and being part of this conference this week. What have been your impressions of the conference?
Well, thank you very much for having me, Omar, first of all. The impressions are amazing. I mean, I'd always heard that this is definitely one of the best events in our industry in Europe. And this is my first time here. I can concur that that is definitely the case. You've got a great setup, absolutely wonderful array of different speakers from around the world. The panels are very enlightening, and I'm thrilled to be here and be a part of it.
Interview over after all those nice things? No, I'm only joking. I'm here to find out about you and your business. So explain to our audience, first of all, what does OSN do? What do you do?
So OSN Group, we are the #1 pay TV provider in the MENA region across 22 countries. We also have one of the most popular premium SVOD streaming platforms. We have the exclusivity with a lot of the major studios, especially a very close partnership with Warner Brothers, and we're the home of HBO in the region.
So, pay TV, obviously what you just described is not unfamiliar to a lot of the companies that operate in North America and the UK and Australasia. But what you will have heard at this conference, that actually when it comes to customer churn, when it comes to the impact that streaming has had on this industry, what have you heard this week that maybe differs or is similar to what you're seeing in Middle East and North Africa?
Well, obviously you have that same trend which you just mentioned across the world. In the Middle East, we're a little later on the streaming side. That has to do with a lot with internet broadband penetration in a lot of the countries. Not in our core Gulf countries like UAE, Saudi, Qatar, and so on, but in the outerlying countries, you definitely don't see streaming picking up that much yet. But obviously, it's happening. Nonetheless, we still have a healthy base in our pay TV platform. And that's why we've come and launched, similar to what Sky has done with AdSmart for more than a decade. We've launched our addressable or advanced TV proposition, which we're very excited about.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point, because obviously here we're in Europe, and the UK is very different to France and Germany. I imagine it's the same in Middle East and North Africa, where you shouldn't think of it as a homogeneous block. Saudi is very different to Qatar, it's different to UAE, to Egypt, etc. What are the key kind of takeaways that people who don't know the region very well, how should they look at it in terms of the differences?
Yeah, of course, exactly. Just like some of the countries you mentioned, from the very beginning in terms of the price point, it can vary significantly. A product which might be $80 in UAE might be $5 in Egypt. So it's a very great difference depending on the country you're in. From the other side, same goes for advertising. We're here talking about advertising. We see that variance in CPMs as well, and ad rates. Again, in the core countries, we have CPMs which are higher than here, higher than Europe, more in line with the US, or can even go above US CPMs. From the other side, the other countries which we mentioned, you see it drop down significantly lower.
And what's the trend with that? Are those gaps widening in terms of CPMs, in terms of ad prices, or are they contracting over time?
No, not necessarily. You haven't really seen that much of a change. It has to do with various factors like socioeconomic factors, purchasing power, disposable income, but a lot of it has to do with a lack of supply, actually, when it comes to premium video, OTT, or connected television inventory.
Which is where addressable would come in handily. I mean, you talked about this on your panel at FTV this week. Why is addressable a game changer in your market specifically, do you think? I mean, you referenced Sky, AdSmart, which has been going on in the UK for over 10 years. So how would you see yourself as going through that same journey that Sky's been on, or is it different for you?
We're definitely leapfrogging in some ways, because we just launched a month ago and we're already testing out programmatic, which is, from what everyone is telling me, is actually unheard of. So while yes, we are late to the game, we are very quickly leapfrogging even farther ahead than some of the players who are here. But it definitely is a massive game changer, because we do have a big issue with TV, linear TV in our region, especially when it comes to pricing. And that comes from, a long story short, really it has to do with the lack of measurement and data and how TV was bought and sold. So ad spot rates are actually extremely low. contrary to CPMs being even higher than the US in some instances. Traditional linear spots are the lowest probably out of any developed market in the world. So this is where that synergy comes in, and we're able to take advantage of high CPMs, which makes a big difference to our business model, obviously, now.
Fascinating. Oh, Hamid, thank you so much for joining us at FCVA
Thank
and
you,
Media
Omar.
Leads Alive. Thank you.
Thank you very much.